is the best bang for your dollar. I mean, as far as racing entertainment, we were sitting there last year. We were down in turns 3 and 4 when Brian was calling that race, and we were standing actually with Kevin Roberts, IMCA modified Kevin Roberts, the driver, running 3 classes, and his wife Nancy, watching that race in turns 3 and 4, and Kevin was just kind of like, what is going on? I mean, it was the Sport Mods put on the show of the weekend. 4 and 5 wide, and sparks flying off the right rear as the leader on the outside's dragging the corner on the wall, and
there was no fear.
Oh man,
they were, and it was well orchestrated. There wasn't that much smash and bang 'em. It was a lot of it's clean racing. These guys were well orchestrated.
Well, and the funny thing about it, Brian, was we were standing up there, and I say Kevin Roberts, he's one of our drivers up here in the Pacific Northwest, and he says, okay, he goes, you've been down here the last few years. Who's going to win this sport? And this is about halfway through. He goes, who's going to win this Sport Mod feature? And I looked at him and I said, Kevin, watch that 40 car of Nick Spainhoward. And he was like in 8th or 9th, and they weren't moving. I mean, the guys, the top group of cars was just kind of like right there, and nobody could pass. He looked at me and he says, you think that 40 car is going to get through that pack and win this race? I said, just watch him. And with about 3 or 4 laps to go, he finally got by everybody, and he opened up at a straightaway lead on everybody. But the race, for him to get through that traffic, you were there. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of those guys at Bakersfield that when he's on the track, Nick Spainhoward, you watch him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's exciting.
Well, yeah, because that's why they call it. That's why they call him the Bakersfield Bullet.
Yeah, he is exciting, and every time I look at his car, I can't help but think about the old Skittles car. Remember the Ernie Irvin drove? That's what it reminds me of. The color scheme he uses.
Because the colors, the yellow, the blue, and the reds. Yeah, you're right.
It looks like I think about the old Ernie Irvin Skittles car every time.
When I see him at the next race, I'm going to call him Skittles. What's up, Skittles?
Oh, he's going to hate me. He's going to hate me. That's a fast car. I love the Sport Mods down there at Bakersfield Speedway. So how are things going overall down there? I know that there was a lot of work over the winter, and you guys are one of the few tracks in the country that actually plant grass seed on the racing surface when race season ends.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hadn't been out there before the season started, but yeah, it's usually what Scott does right there probably at the end of the last race, which is in November, and then he goes out there and rolls the grass, the seed out there, and then lets the track kind of just set up, and then that kind of brings in the moisture to the track for the following year, and then they come back in around January and February, and they start working it, and then getting ready for practice usually in into February, and then our open practices in February, and then we start racing like the first or second week of March.
The first or second week of March, they start racing down there, guys.
Well, it's California.
We're lucky if we can start racing midway towards the end of April. I mean, we really are.
Wow, that's kind of a long ways away.
Yeah, it sucks. It really sucks, but it's just the weather patterns we have to deal with here, and you guys are very, very fortunate to be down there in sunny Southern California to have the sunshine you do to go racing. Do we have Mike Patterson on the phone already?
He's been on the phone.
Mike, how are you doing? We've been messing around with that board quite a bit, actually. So we're talking with your cohort. You can obviously hear. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good. Got both of you guys. All right, so first couple of weeks working together at Bakersfield Speedway. Things are going well for you and Brian. How are you digging it so far up there in the Mike Mosier Tower? Is he there? Oh, man. Did we lose him? Hold on a second. Brian, you're there, right?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, good. We still got Brian. Man, what a technical night. This is what happens when you take 2 weeks off, right?
Yeah, you got to restructure your show.
Well, there's some restructuring coming big time. In fact, the next show is going to be completely different. I promise you that.
Okay.
It's going to be completely different. So it's not going to be this unorganized. This was we got here late. We threw everything together up here. And Mike, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay, good. I'm just trying to figure out why it's so quiet on his end. Okay, so again, talking Bakersfield Speedway with the two track announcers out there, Mr. Brian Smith and Mike Patterson. Mike, what were you saying before we lost you there for a second?
I was saying that Brian and I are working well together. We finally, the plans that have been in motion for some time now have kind of came into fruition recently and sped up the process of what we were planning on doing. And now, with him aboard with Moxie, all it's going to do is make it that much more, interactive and fun for the fans and the drivers alike at the track.
No doubt. I mean, I've heard you guys on your live broadcast down there. I know you work well together, and it's going to get better, like you said, from here on out. I am looking forward to see what you guys do together because I know the potential that both of you have, and I know the talent that you guys have, and I know that Bakersfield is in for a treat once you guys get your program worked out there, much like I'm having a hard time working this program out.
We're going to get through it.
Oh, we're going to get through it. It'll be good. So what's up next for Bakersfield Speedway?
For
Either
this
one of you
weekend?
guys can answer. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're looking at the WSR, the West Coast 305s are going to be in the house. I believe we are going to have the IMCA modifieds. And, I think mini stocks and American stocks, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but let me look at my schedule right here.
When you draw your modifieds, do you guys draw a pretty good crowd down there? Car count wise?
Car count, we're usually somewhere around the 2 dozen cars.
That's a full field.
I heard you guys talking about American stocks earlier in the Bud Nationals and talking about Nicholas Johnson. Nicholas Johnson stepped up this year. He's going to be in a hobby stock.
Oh,
Yeah, still running the one end, but he moved up to a hobby stock. And Cody Johnson as well is in a hobby stock this year. They sold Cody's American stock to one of the guys on the coast out here, and he raced that American stock 2 weeks ago in Bakersfield and took it to the front and won in the main event. And that was Chris Bucaret.
I'm not surprised.
So, yeah.
And that he's got to be 16 now, right?
I believe he is 16 this year.
Wow. The talent that we have on the West Coast and these young guys, this next generation from all the way from Washington down to California, I mean, it is absolutely amazing. I know we're going to see some of those names on Sundays in the big leagues. As much as I don't like that type of racing, I do believe we're going to see some of those kids there.
There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, I'm watching, what's his name, with the Super Sport.
Oh, McLean Bedoin.
He's my hero.
Hey, we've got a kid at our track, you guys. He's 12 years old, and he's running a Super Sport, which is basically a late model on asphalt slicks with sideboards.
Oh, really?
And he's running with the big boys.
He's running up front. He was second fast qualifier last week. I mean, this kid's 12 years old, and he's really something.
I went up to Willamette Speedway and saw these super sports about a year and a half ago, and I looked like the Joker watching these cars go around because I had a grin ear to ear. That brings back so many childhood memories about the late 80s with the sideboards, the big wedge cars, and the fat asphalt tires. And if you ever get a chance to go up there, brother, that is one class you're going to have to watch.
That's right, Brian. You got to get up there and check this stuff out.
Okay.
Maybe on a weekend where you guys are dark, you can shoot up here and jump in the booth with us, and we can have a little fun at Willamette Speedway.
Oh, that would be cool.
We'd love to have you, bud. We're going to keep you guys on the show for the rest of the night as long as you guys want to stay, and we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff, and because I want to get some of your input, because you guys, we're going to have a major topic later on about We're going to talk about some of the lower divisions, specifically these sport mods. We're going to talk about sport mods. And
Cordy, you can't call that a lower division anymore.
Thank you.
What do you say?
There's some of the fastest guys that have raced late models, modified. They're coming back to the sport mods because that's where the competition is. That is by far the most. That and pro stocks are the ones that are growing the most out here on the west, in California specifically. I mean, we went from having 15, maybe 20 of those sport mods to now having full fields plus B-Bays almost every week.
Well, and that's how it is here in the Northwest, Mike. The last couple of years, the sport mod division just absolutely erupted. I mean, it seems like everybody, like he said, everybody's building these things, and we're gonna have a heavy discussion about that. We want to talk about results. We'll get into that. We'll cruise through results, kind of highlight some Willamette Speedway, give some results from Cottage Grove, and then we'll go into the meat of our conversation. I'd like to have you guys on if you want to stick around and stay on the show. We'd love to have you on talking about that when we get into the heavy discussion. You guys, you want to stick around?
Yeah, I'll stick around for a little bit.
My meeting to go to that you guys know about, that I've got to go check in today, because this is my 4-month meeting, so I got to go do that. Just those that don't know, I'm on my Weight Watchers program and I'm losing weight.
He's losing a ton of weight. We've already got to buy him a new shirt.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm down to 30 pounds, so I'm down 30 pounds, so that's a good sign, and I want to get down more. Because, Corey's been going to Hawaii and looking all nice and tan and trim, but you never see him without his shirt.
It's Photoshop.
Take his shirt off, not mine.
Not anymore, Mike. All that weight I lost is back, and I'm whiter than ever. Fat white boy over here.
When you go to the Pacific Northwest, man, you have to bulk back up. It's like all the animals that go up north, they bulk up before they go up there because they know it's going to be a long winter sometimes.
That's right. You got to put on a little weight to stay warm in the winter.
That's right. I did want to get in before I sign off with you guys. Bakersfield karting experience. You guys have all been out there, except for Sam. He hasn't been out there with us yet. Under new management, starting the 2nd of May, Troy Morris Jr. and his family have taken over. They are modified drivers. Troy Morris Jr. is a modified driver, and his son, Troy Morris III. You guys, Corey, you might remember him. He was the little flag guy on the side of the track. Had his own flag.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. That little kid's in a modified.
Mm-hmm.
That little kid's in a modified. Went from a 600. He's still running his 600 as well, but he's running a modified 4 now. And now they picked up Bakersfield karting experience. Troy Morris Jr. is now the new owner of it. So big things are going to be happening out here. And tomorrow they're having their first of the summer series kart racing inside Bakersfield karting experience. You can bring your own kart. They have QRCs. They have stock, box stock with hearing. All those carts are coming out, outlaw carts, and they're going to run on that 1/10 mile dirt track tomorrow.
We are having some technical. Mike, we're having technical difficulties hearing you, bud. I don't know what's going on, but like he was saying, Bakersfield karting experience under new management. Go ahead. Okay, I thought you had something.
Troy Morris Jr. is taking over this weekend. They're going to have the kickoff of the summer kart series with the QRCs, outlaw karts, stock karts, and mini dwarfs. They're going to be out there. They're getting them on the track so they can bring their own karts in and run that track. And it's a 1/10 mile dirt track. It's going to be awesome. Brian's going to be out there announcing it and doing some interviews. I'm going to try to make my way out there and maybe get my butt in a cart and go run.
Now, Bud Nationals rolls around. Do we got to bring our own carts down for that and have a Bud Nationals for carts?
Oh, no, that's something we got to talk to Troy Morris because I think that'd be fun. But, I mean, you bringing your cart out there, I don't know if you want to make that tow to be disappointed.
Well, I might bring it down just because.
Well, I'm saying you're going to be disappointed because you're not going to win.
Mike.
Oh, gosh. Here
Mikey. You're crazy, Mike.
No, I'm going to be half the size I was, so I can be able to get around.
Well, we'll find out. We'll find out come October. But, Mike, I want to say